welcome to Fintech Focus TV with me, Toby. I'm delighted to be joined again today by Murray Abel from Control Now. Another amazing business to be speaking to. This is a incredible time for the industry and wider than that, the economy and humanity as a whole. Murray, it's great for you to spare some time. I know how busy it is for everyone at the moment, but listen, would you like to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you're doing and the business that you co-founded 3-4 years ago now?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having us, Toby. So I'm Murray Abel, Managing Director of Control Now Limited. We are a regulatory technology company who focuses on reporting assurance. So that means we take in client data that's been reported to regulators for MiFIR and EMIR, and we'll perform validation on the data quality and reconciliations on that data to check for the accuracy according to the regulations.
Fantastic. And look, it's I imagine it's a really interesting time now, because look, this is a business which has been, I'd still probably say, in that sort of startup phase, and we're seeing such volatility out there in the marketplace and such rapidly evolving and almost on a daily basis. In fact, on a daily basis, we're seeing different things. How's that impacting what you're doing and the business as a whole and the regulatory landscape that we sit in right now?
Yeah, so this is the next in a long string of things that have been difficult in the past 2 years, really. So we are just over 2 years old. We've gone through 3 Brexit delays and now the COVID-19 economic slowdown. So it has definitely been a challenge a number of times. The most recent one doesn't seem to actually have affected the growth of the business in too big a way yet. However, it's a long sales cycle in this industry, so you're never quite sure until you're kind of a few months down the road. But luckily, the company's in a different place to where it was a year ago. So we've got our kind of our core group of clients who are there enjoying the product. We've got plenty of resource now to continue developing our solutions. And yeah, we've kind of got the lights turned on and we're quite happy now. So if this had happened a year ago, obviously I would be a little bit more concerned, but things are still looking pretty good for us right now.
So tell us about how you've managed to adapt and as I say, use this time well. What's been the sort of secrets to you being able to continue to progress as a business?
Well, I mean, I think this would be the case with most startups these days. Everything is cloud-based. So we've got part of our development team in Canada, part of our development team in Bulgaria. My co-founder, Ayad Maswadi, he's in Jordan at the moment. Salim's working from home. I'm working from home at the moment. It's actually not that out of the ordinary for us to be all over the world, dialing in and working remotely. So yeah, I mean, we've got we manage all software via Jira. We manage all documentation via Confluence. Everything's on Skype. Everything's email. It's pretty manageable for us in terms of switching between business as usual operations and now, really.
And tell us a little bit more about how that's impacted your clients and how you've adapted and pivoted potentially to help them.
Well, I guess that's another thing as well. The actual product itself is designed to be highly cloud-based. So the solution, as I mentioned before, the solution is a data analysis tool. So it's handling lots of client-sensitive data. And when we first got into the design of this solution, we looked at how we could deliver up-to-date, constantly evolving validations that didn't need us to take the data off the client site. So what we've got is a cloud-based solution that manages all the validation logic, and a small desktop application that's deployed on a client site. And every time the client wants to run a validation on their data, they simply connect up to our cloud, pull in the latest validation logic, and then process everything locally. So there's really no change to the way that we're operating. Whether the client's working from home or from their office, it's still just a very small desktop application that allows them access to the latest centralized repository of validation logic.
And in terms of, you mentioned there about the sales cycles and such like, and how it's taken a little bit longer, or traditionally you'll see exactly the impact. How do you anticipate that? How do you work with that sort of unknown, I guess, a little bit with your client base?
We just don't spend more than we've got, really. We're a very frugal business. We started with absolutely zero in the bank. We took no investment. The beauty of technology these days is you can start with a laptop and take your business domain knowledge and build it into some software. So we've had that approach from day one, and we'll grow when we can grow, and we've got plenty of plans to do so. But yeah, if everything comes crashing down tomorrow, we're not in a position where it's going to be too much of an issue for us. So trying to predict the future sales is, we'll take it as it comes. Really, we're not over expanding it in that respect.
Tell us a little bit about those plans, because I'm always sort of fascinated by businesses such as yours who've there's many different ways to launch within financial technology, isn't there? And the sort of well-trodden path is to leverage everything and get loads of investment and lose some of that control. Maybe you guys have done it from a bootstrap sort of mentality. Is it the plan to continue down that road, or will you go through funding rounds, or what are the plans for you guys?
It's absolutely to keep it founder controlled, and there's nothing to do with greed in that respect. We're not looking to take lots of money out of this business and make as high a turnover as possible. What we're trying to do is have a very streamlined, efficient, scalable solution. And from our opinion, the best way of doing that is taking our very unique business understanding and building it into software. And no money in the world will ever allow you to do that any quicker. It's really, really important that things are well organized and it's built slowly and surely. We've got a really agile development team with really good business requirements defined by myself and the business team. And the more efficiency that we put into that development and product development cycle, the better it gets for us in terms of that.
Amazing. And you mentioned there that you've gone with a sort of international setup, shall we say, to the business. So you've got I think in Canada, Jordan, Bulgaria, and London. Tell us a little bit about how that works. What was the thinking behind there? Access to talent, affordability. What was your thinking?
Well, so my co-founder, Ayad Maswadi, he was at University of Bath as a computer science master's degree student. And one of his best friends on the course there was a Bulgarian guy who's now he set up a business called Motion Software. So they're kind of like our partner business. But in the early days, that wasn't the vision. In the early days, we just looked for a developer to help resource our product. And it's just grown into a fantastic partnership, really. So from day one, we had development in London and Bulgaria, and we've evolved from there, really.
Fantastic. And in London now, you're sort of you've grown a little bit over the last couple of years. Tell us about the setup of the business. You're saying everyone's now working from home and doing so effectively, which is, I guess, one of the sort of as if you're looking for upsides and positives to all of this, it's probably the best time that this sort of pandemic can happen, with everything from what's available to people in their house at the moment, and the quality of Wi-Fi and the ability for everyone to be doing this. Tell us how you usually set up in the UK.
Yeah, so we've got a small office in Covent Garden. That was a deliberate decision to move out of the city. We'd been there for 10 years. So we tried out a new part of London, Covent Garden. It's great fun, particularly at Christmas. So we've got an 8-man office there, but it's kind of hot desked. So you can just turn up to the office if you want to be in the office that day. Otherwise, people are working from home or wherever else they are around the world. Could even be a camper van, which is used by one of our members of staff.
It's happened by the sounds of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that is an amazing part of this thing about where people are finding the ability to work and do business from. I actually saw someone in their caravan on their front drive as their new makeshift office from outside the house whilst they're working.
Well, it's good at this time of year. It just gets a little bit cold in the winter.
Yeah, no, yeah. When you're doing it on a cold December morning, it's going to be slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah,
but tell me a little bit about how you see things evolving from this. We will see a more flexible workforce. Surely, we'll see various bits and pieces that will go on from your world, your area of expertise in there. Tell me a little bit about what you see as some of the things that will change for companies and change for the regulatory landscape.
Mm. I don't think regulations are going away. So when I joined this this kind of industry, approaching 15 years ago now, it was MiFID 1 was the big thing that had just gone live or was just going live. And I remember the kind of people who had 20 years experience on me then saying, regulations come and go in spells of 10 years. So you can expect that this will carry on for 10 years and then it will all decrease a bit. But we're now well over 10 years into it, and we've got SFTR going live. We've got a mere rewrite, and I'm just looking at it from the reporting point of view here. You know, we're talking 60 bits of regulation that have gone live across the capital markets in a big way since 2008. So, yeah, I don't think it's going away. So there's definitely resource that's still going to need to be put into supporting regulatory requirements. And to be honest with you, companies like ours we're a second generation regtech company. So prior to this business, I was an employee at a business that was an arm that was set up and grew nicely. So we've taken all that experience and built something that I think is more valuable, which is kind of focusing more on the consultancy side of things. So I think there's plenty of space for the industry to keep growing in that way, getting more and more efficient in meeting these requirements, and hopefully it won't be throwaway work. This will be stuff that's going to make the whole financial services sector and then the whole economy more efficient.
Definitely, I think that efficiency is a sort of common theme that I'm getting when I'm talking to people out in the marketplace at the moment. This is a sort of golden opportunity for governments, for companies, for the financial markets in particular, to become a lot more user friendly, to become a lot more efficient and more streamlined from it. And I think that sort of general sense of collaboration has been something that's will be one of the positives that and I think we have to be looking for those. We have to be looking for positives that will come out of this, and hopefully that sort of streamlining of this will be something that we'll see develop a lot more as well over time. Let's focus a little bit more again on you guys there. You talk about being able to add real value to the marketplace, and I can see that from the success that you guys have had so far. But tell us a little bit more. And look, you've surfed through, as you say, some really challenging economic, and you couldn't have asked for I think we launched in 2010, so just at the same sort of a difficult time in global markets then as well. I think it does wonders in setting up the company's robustness and stickability and such like. Tell us a little bit about how you guys will add value and plan to use this to your advantage as we move further forward.
No problem. So as I mentioned, we've got 15 years experience in regulatory reporting, and so over that time we've really built up a good subject knowledge. Not only that, the product we previously worked in, a lot of the people who I'm working with, it was a regtech business as well. So we've got technology, we've got compliance understanding, and we've got lots of business specific understanding, so implementations to different types of businesses. And it's those three things that we've put together into a single solution. I'm not saying it's not available out in the market, but the key thing is, can you make it scalable? So being able to deliver that knowledge and experience to as many people as possible. Because if you're a single consultant, as I used to be, delivering on a single project at a time, you're looking at 10 days to go and deliver a good compliance review on transaction reporting. So what we've done is built a software which is constantly evolving, constantly improving, because as we get more and more data sets and more client use cases, we're building that into the tool. But it can be delivered in 5 minutes. You download the tool, you run your data, and it's run 1 million records through the tool and given you an output, which is something that would have taken me 10 minutes to do before. 10 days to do before. So yeah, that's the sort of level of efficiency we're talking about in this, and yeah, I mean, hopefully that's beneficial to the marketplace. It also brings costs down. That's the other way to look at it. Versus having a kind of a very highly skilled consultant sitting on site for 10 days, you're looking at a one-off run or a subscription that's a fraction of the cost to deliver your regulatory assurance process.
I think if you look at two things you've said there, they sort of bring themselves into some of the most important parts of what we've seen over since running the podcast, the TV channel, and the Financial Technologies magazine, we've looked at thousands and thousands of fintech companies and basically looking at what makes them succeed and what makes them fail. And I think some of the things that have been really interesting about what you've said there is that durability, the quality of the leadership team, the ability to be making more than you spend, as basic as that sounds.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at two things that you've just pinpointed there, is being able to add efficiency to processes, and that's becoming more and more important, I think, on a daily basis at the moment, and cost reduction. And the amazing thing is about how many companies that don't necessarily grip and take off is how they're not really focused around providing genuine cost reduction for businesses, which I think is so important at the moment. So look, any business that's adding those sort of values, I'm really excited about seeing develop, and it sounds like a really exciting pathway for you moving further forward. Tell us about the sort of companies who should be talking to you. What sort of companies out there listening at the moment can you add real value to?
So yeah, we've got we've designed our solution to really fit any part of the capital market industry, buy side, sell side, small and big companies. We're not priced out of any particular client base, which is different to a lot of consultancy-based firms and technology businesses, which are looking mainly for tier one and top institution clients, really. So yeah, our pricing point is low, and it's designed to be used by any type of firm. So at the moment we have investment banks, retail derivative firms, we have asset managers, we have high frequency traders and prop traders using our solution. So it really is agnostic to types of products traded and types of businesses executed. And yeah, we're not limiting it. So anyone basically who has a regulatory requirement to report for MiFIR or EMIR is a potential client of ours.
We should be talking to you. Excellent. And you mentioned there about long sales cycles, and some of the things that I've been hearing of late is how, one of the efficiencies that this COVID-19 crisis has sort of brought to life is that people are streamlining processes and acting a little bit quicker with things. And are you seeing that? Is that something which an upside which you've seen in the marketplace as well?
I haven't really. So we're 2 weeks into the lockdown. So 2 weeks into people actually working from home. Obviously, COVID's been around as a risk for roughly 4 to 6 weeks. I haven't really specifically noticed any difference in the marketplace yet. There was definitely a week where things slowed down a touch, and people were kind of getting configured at home, getting their workstation set up, getting used to the whole environment of having family and whatever else around you. But in terms of the business side of things, I am hoping everyone's able to continue working as always, and certainly as far as we can tell, conversations are going that way. In my opinion, in the services industry, we really should be doing our bit to keep the economy going and doing everything we can to utilize the technology that our entire platforms are based on, and hopefully we can be doing something good towards keeping the economy going. That's my opinion.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Well, look, it's been fascinating talking to you and finding out a little bit more about the company. If people want to get in touch and reach out and find out a little bit more about Control Now and all the stuff you've been talking about today and all the great stuff which you've got planned for the future, how do they reach out to you? How do they find you?
Well, you can have a look at our website, www.control-now.com. We've got loads of information on there, videos of the products and all that stuff. And you can get in touch there. And one of the things we're offering is a free reporting health check. So this is our kind of our offer back to the market. No obligation. Come and see what we do. We'll deploy the tool on site, and you can run a week's worth of data and see how your reporting's looking.
Fantastic. Well, look, please do, if you're watching there and like the sound of that, get in touch with the guys. It's been great talking to you. Thanks so much for sharing your time at the moment as well. And I'm glad to hear that business continues apace. I shall be watching with eager anticipation about your next moves, and lovely to hear about a business that is continuing to adapt and do so well in such tough times. So congratulations. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon again on another episode of Fintech Focus TV. Murray, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Toby.